Briar Road. Oop. Alright, let's go Strand Street. February 19th, Briar Road. That bike's beat up over there. This is where it happened. Briar Road. Ah, look, Mr. Naruhodo. Look at the regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Skyline Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That, their job, you know? But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt I'd ever come this close to a real Bobby's helmet. What? The helmet? Of course. I have to try one out one day. Well, I hope your hatty dreams come true. What's the Japanese delegation doing here? Oh, Inspector Gregson. This isn't on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware. Yes, of course. We're here to investigate. So you've been to the holding cells then? What do you make of the criminal? He's not a criminal as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect. We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, suppose. Well, don't do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict's a foregone conclusion. The stone-cold air of rejection. Take heart. Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone-cold air. That makes it worse, somehow. Bottom. Done. Really about Skyline Yard, Inspector. Ever since I've read about it in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place. The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am. Oh, and you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet. It does make them look the part, seeing the police there with their helmet on. You certainly get the sense that there's a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city. And yes, doesn't he look wonderful? Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you. Oh, really? First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Go around and ruses all the laborers on his beat so he could get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yep, raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit. I had no idea. The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. With that, he starts a tireless patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. Can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. Let me see. Oh, where they're still using the thingy boy. 20 miles, that's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama. On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. And where it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps. Oh my. I suppose in between all his duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well? And chase after criminals trying to evade the law? I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly. More along, but yes. Or alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men kneeling over from time to time, I admit. I always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Your heavy helmet heart will be my heavy wait, your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. Bum-bum. Happened at 5 in the evening 2 days ago, just there on the opening bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. You're right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's been treating in hospital. I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all. I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it with you if you want. Really? Are you sure? It's yard policy to give lawyers, defendant, suspect the odd bit of information to go on. Wow. America and or Japan does not do that. They hate us. They hate us. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still. Don't tell them that. Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept. The local map has been added into a court record. A street map of the local area showing where the victim was found. Anyway, as far as we know, there's no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsumi about claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone doesn't mean we can't be sure that no one else was present. It's hard to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure. How? Because, ma'am, precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. What? We have two very reliable witnesses, no less. Ah! It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them. We're witnesses now? Who are the witnesses, Inspector? Fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. He's a copper from Scotland Yard. Ah! Ah! A policeman? That might change things. That means one of your cops are crooked, Inspector. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked? Nothing particular about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby, catching them banging the act and all that. You think it might have been possible for us to ask the policeman a few questions? Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow. Oh, he fucking got us there. He felt like a cool guy when he tipped his hat and said that. Oh. I have no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. Got to give you something to look forward to. That's that then. Got no intention of letting me meet the man beforehand, it seems. A policeman witnessed the incident? As your judicial assistant, I was warning you that this could make our job very difficult indeed. Yes. As a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me that. I could have warned me that too. Oh yes. One more thing, Inspector. What? The person who led you to the suspect. I heard that it was Sherlock Holmes. What are you bringing him up for? Was it something I said? Color with a U has strained from his cheeks. What did you hear? The name from? Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsumi who mentioned it. Said that Mr. Holmes was with the police when they entered his lodging. I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Holmes' inspirational great deductions. Fiddle faddle! Ah! That man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. Oh. I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to assault the case. Yes, he's quite outstanding, isn't he? He's a great help to Skyline Yard, though, isn't he? Gabble gabble. Ah! Ever seen this before? Oh yes, that's the Rand's magazine, the wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Holmes appears. Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of Yard's detectives in a story. And the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. You ask anything at the yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Herlock Sholmes tale at all.
Well, I suppose there's an element of that.
We work our socks off, every one of us, only being frumped by the public thanks to the obnoxious detective. That man's as dangerous to us as Skyline Yard as he is to our criminals.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector?
Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow, and you gonna defend him or not?
Well,
makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch the case with a barge pole. Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper, the Bailey, you mean? There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying.
It's all a bit strange, though.
Sorry? The Reaper, he hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
The only people he usually bothers with are the real scum. The master criminals, the violent ones.
Master criminals? The violent ones?
That's right. He handpicks his victims, only to deal with those guaranteed to get to the gallows for their sins.
But Mr. Natsumi wouldn't hang for that, what he's accused of, surely.
That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase. Well, not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's gotta be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
Think I can tell you what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial.
Are we really gonna have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as you put it.
Oh, the police are gone.
Well, I don't think we are going to get any more useful information out of the detective. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion?
Oh, yeah, what is it?
Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this.
By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes?
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, exactly.
Well, shining eyes, you can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsumi did blame Mr. Sholmes for all this, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are we gonna ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet Mr. Sholmes again.
Trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address even.
It's Baker Street!
How do you know that?
It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world.
Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose.
Better try to find our way through there.
Better try to find our way there before Suzuto-san gets any more excited and unpredictable.
Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage.
We're gonna have to reunion after all. With the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, police are back. Police are...
Oh, that's the Skyline Yard carriage. Use vehicles like this to rush to a crime scene and cart away criminals.
You're very well informed, aren't you?
It's long been a dream of mine to ride in one of those through the streets of London.
Oh well, let me tell you, if you're anything like your grandchildren, that's gonna happen a lot. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then.
But that would mean being arrested in order to ride in. Wouldn't it? Still, it's the only way. Well, help me find a good stone.
No, I wasn't serious, please. Yo, okay. It was whoever this snowman was.
What a delightful snowman.
I don't realize the English had tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy though.
Oh, it has a scarf. Look.
I need one of you making out of this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one.
I'm afraid our budget is somewhere frozen at the moment too. We certainly couldn't afford a scarf.
Surely that snowman here wouldn't miss his.
The person who made the snowman certainly would.
Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. One of the officers from Skyline Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. A feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons.
And perhaps you're being a little overcautious. With a U.
Wait, does cautious have a U in it? Does it have two U's? Hold on. Cautious. It does. Okay, my mistake.
Cautious spelled normally. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause of concern.
Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what's going on.
Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. There's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. Does he no favors with a U at all?
Bomb. Donut.
Oh, a British bicycle. Look! Although the wheels are so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore.
Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling.
It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a moment to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well.
The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that.
Goodness, do you dislike bicycles?
No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. Just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. You ever tried walking on stilts and falling in a river? I know you'd agree with me.
We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime so you can sit behind me while I ride you around.
That's funny, because Phoenix Wright, not only are bicycles not a fad, but Phoenix Wright doesn't have a... Phoenix Wright or Maya don't have a license, and they both ride bicycles to their destinations.
It's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history.
Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here.
Well, possibly find some cheap lodging ourselves as possible.
Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonable level floors. Is that it? That's it. Oh.
The clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they?
But the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy.
Well, it's known as Foggy London Town.
Just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built though.
Aha! Yes, that must be the Crystal Tower, being built for the great exhibit that's to open in 6 months' time.
One of the cases in the second game is called The Adventure in the Great Exhibit, because fucking Ace Attorney Twitter knows how to fucking spoil things. I didn't read it, but it's like, hey, in this case, this is who dies, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I read the case title and I was like, wait a minute.
Apparently, it's going to be very striking, glazed on all sides, and the symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition.
It's to be the largest exhibition in history, is it? Can't even begin to imagine it. I swear I don't know anything about it. I just know the name. Please don't blame me. Please. A new collection has been added. 221B Baker Street, the home and office of the most famous detective in the world. What does these say? Do these change? Bottom. No. Bottom.
You really visit, do you think? Oh, pinch me, I'm sure I must be dreaming.
Thank you, Susan. Very cool. I love the low poly anime style from a distance thing. It's so funny.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day. Thanks again. This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Showers.
What a pretty place.